Thank you for joining us tonight. A couple reminders before we get started. No food or drink allowed in the hall. Please turn off your cell phones and take note of the exits. There is no photography or videography allowed. And please keep your masks on for the entirety of today's event. Thank you again and enjoy the performance.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. My name is David Stull. I'm president of the Conservatory of Music. It is a delight to finally have all of us back in person to extend this wonderful partnership with UCSF and the Global Brain Health Institute. Not only is it all of us this evening in Hume Hall, but the hundreds of people joining us online. We're going to have a round of applause for all of you for joining us. This is the great experiment, the idea of bringing together a Conservatory of Music and a spectacular research institution in the sciences. And why do we do this? It's because that we have learned, those of us in the field and in the profession, that the intersection of these disciplines teaches us a great deal. Not just about the work that we do individually, not just about the work that we do collectively, about ourselves. In fact, I would suggest to you it's the intersection of art and science is the space in which we discover ourselves, that we know ourselves. And we have realized that this has been an important part of not only our own work as musicians and scientists, but as people. And in bringing together music and science and sharing with the community, we have elevated the experience of both. We have illuminated the experience of both. I'm pleased to say when you came in, you may not have realized this, but a technology and applied composition student actually took raw EEG data of a person passing from wakefulness into sleep and actually transmitted that into an algorithm. And you were hearing a tape loop. It's about 8 minutes long. I shouldn't use the word tape anymore. That's really a digital loop, as a matter of fact. That's about 8 minutes long. That was taking you through the odyssey of what it is for a person to actually pass from wakefulness into sleep. As artists, what I will tell you is that we have for years explored this space because sleep is the limitless opportunity for the imagination to bring the world alive. And when we think about that in the form of music, that allows us to create experiences, which you'll learn about musically and artistically, that frankly, the rest of the world don't leave so much room for us in many respects as sleep does. And you will hear quite a bit about that this evening. So, thank you to our fifth installment of this. I can't thank our colleagues enough. Bruce is going to spend some time thanking people specifically, but what a great team at UCSF, the leadership of UCSF. We are so deeply grateful to them. But now it is my pleasure and honor to introduce my friend and my colleague, one of the most remarkable individuals I've had the pleasure of working with and knowing in my career, Dr. Bruce Miller. Bruce.
Well, am I ever grateful to David for being here today, for Emily, for the words that she brings to this event, and to all of you. What an incredible opportunity. But before I get started, I just want to thank some of the people that made the event possible. They're perfectionists. They even worried about the exact cadence that David and Emily and I would walk across the stage. So I think it's darn near perfect, except for maybe this introduction. But so they are Camelia Latta, Carolyn Prelo, Niall Kavanagh, all at UCSF, Elle McBride here at the Conservatory, Simia Aluwala, Rebecca Groves, Nina Wise, who work with Emily at the Nocturnists. The Nocturnists will have been writing about COVID from a health perspective, and Their writings during the time of COVID are going to be in our National Library of Congress. So I think Emily's work has been truly incredible. Okay. So the human brain thinks in pictures, words, and music, but we are remarkably diverse in how much access we have to those different modalities. Some of us are moved by words and even write, others by images and paint. Still others are drawn to music or science. Honestly, I'm drawn to all of them. The presentation tonight mixes music, painting, science, and storytelling to explore the meaning of sleep and dreams and the meaning of our lives collectively. The scientific themes tonight it's a little complicated. I just want to frame it. They're brainwaves, sleep, and how sleep protects us from illness, particularly Alzheimer's disease. So you are in the process of protecting your health by listening to the things that you'll learn tonight. Neurons in the brain communicate with another through a process that generates electricity. I apologize to our Vice Chancellor, Dan Lowenstein, who is a world's expert on electrical activity in the brain, but I'm going to give my own version. This electricity, in turn, translates into brain waves that we can measure. You'll hear a lot about that. Not so different from the sound waves that we hear with music. Liza Ashbrook, a sleep neurologist, will educate you on the nuts and bolts of sleep and its importance to your health. Kamalini Ranasinghe, a brilliant neuroscientist, will tell you how we measure brain waves, how we can use them to diagnose Alzheimer's disease and eventually to treat Alzheimer's disease. Leah Grinberg, a brilliant pathologist, will explain links of sleep to Alzheimer's disease from her own original research. Across the evening, the Conservatory of Music will offer a potpourri of music inspired by sleep and dreams, including a new piece that you've heard parts of, devised by the Conservatory Technology team, Taurin Barrera, and Christine Walsh from UCSF. You'll also hear remarkable stories from medical student Oak Sonfis, who's visiting us from Oregon. She competed and won the opportunity to read her story to you about sleep and dreams. And of course, Emcee Silverman, the founder of Nocturnists, brilliant internist, Department of Internal Medicine, has worked at the SFCM. They will reflect on words and the power of words beyond science. Finally, historian Nikolaus Hohmann and physician Luis Martinez use pictures to capture the joy, mystery, sometimes danger forecasted in dreams. So don't sleep during the performance, but once it's over, you're going to really have a great night of sleep, which is the beginning of the process of healing that we're going to talk about tonight. Thank you.
Last but not least, my name is Emcee Silverman. I'm an internal medicine physician at UCSF and creator and host of the Nocturnists. I'm delighted to be here collaborating with these two wonderful people. Just briefly about our part of the program today, you'll be hearing two stories, one from medical student Oak Sonfis, who was already mentioned, and then also for the first time ever since the founding of the Nocturnists in 2016, I'll be telling my own story. So this is very new for me. Yeah. I want to thank Rebecca, Molly, Nina, and the rest of the Nocturnist team, and also thank you to Career MD for being our story sponsor for this evening. As you just heard, you're going to hear beautiful musical performances, amazing scientific talks, and I just wanted to spend a moment on the visual art that you may have seen on display in the lobby. So the artist is Dr. Luis Martinez. Luis is a neurologist from Colombia who is now based in San Francisco. He's also a Global Atlantic Fellow for Equity and Brain Health, and you'll be seeing the paintings both projected here, but also in person in the lobby, and they're actually available for purchase. So if you're interested in scanning the QR code and making a silent bid, you could be lucky enough to be going home with one of Luis's paintings. Lastly, the structure of the night, just like the stages of sleep, this program progresses in stages. So we have stage 1, which is called Starting Sleep, Discovering Dreams. Stage 2, Rhythms and Transitions. Stage 3, Unconscious Illuminations. And stage 4, Sweet Dreams, Deep Dreams. and I'd like to briefly introduce Act 1. Here, you'll be hearing a string quartet performing Claude Debussy's early piece, Reverie, which transports us to a dreamlike world. Then you'll hear Dr. Liza Ashbrook again talking about how sleep works in the brain. Liza is a sleep doctor, so you'll hear a bit about that. And then you'll hear Oak telling their story about the connection between dreams, their physical health, and also what is it like when our dreams speak to us in metaphor. So, without further ado, please enjoy Act 1 of Sleep and Dreams.